Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. um. So welcome everybody. Luckily for us today, we shifted the time a little bit. Abby won't be able to make it today because she's in transit. I think she's traveling, so she might not. Be, she might be able, but not too sure. Luckily for me, I have my sidekick Bumi as usual. Let me bring her on.
Hi, everybody.
Actually, I wanted to applaud you. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Work is not that busy, but my boss isn't here, so I don't want to leave. So I
Yes,
was going to
seems
take in
good.
a conference room, but I decided to come to my car instead.
Oh,
Yes, now,
I
Candy
mean,
and I have been trying to tell you people for the longest time that you do this during
oh,
our work day. So
okay. I'm
it's
sorry for
okay.
not understanding. I'm sorry for not understanding you the first time.
That's
Well,
all right.
how are you doing? How was your birthday week?
Oh my God, it was awesome. But it's taking me so long to recover. I'm so old. But you party
But
for
they didn't
one day,
allow you
you need
spend
one
your
month.
money.
Huh?
But they didn't allow you spend your
No,
money.
they didn't. These girls were just too much. They were so generous. It's unreal. Like they paid for it. Even
Wow.
after we left the restaurant, they were still paying for things. I was like, "Can you stop, please?" The thing almost cost 5 cents, but I just
This
I
mean,
felt
you
really
know what
really
this means? This
grateful.
means that Bumi might actually be a nice person.
You
I'm
know,
trying
I started to
to,
think that too. I started to think
yeah.
that too. Like maybe people do like you after all. Not everybody hates
It's
you.
no, no. Of course, yeah. You're not. Wait, what's the word? You're not hateable. You're likable.
Well, I don't think we should ever try to get everybody to like us in this world because you not be
That's
yourself.
dangerous.
Yeah,
That's
you
actually
won't be
dangerous.
yourself. You have to accept that not everybody's gonna like us, no matter how perfect we are. Just let it go and do you.
Yeah,
You know.
I agree with you. If there's anything I've learned from the internet, just do you. Don't do
Yeah,
because you're
because the
somebody.
most perfect people will still have something to say about them. Like there are some people who just seem to have really nice personalities, but somebody will still have something that they're gonna bitch about. So it's like just be yourself.
You
Be
can't please
you.
everyone.
You cannot
Technically,
exactly. You
you,
can't.
you technically you can't please anyone, and sometimes you just have to let go when you see that people are not trying to understand you. You just it is what it is. You can't
Yeah,
really do much about it, and
absolutely. Some people will not understand you no
also
matter what.
join.
They just don't want to. They don't want to understand you.
Oh,
So.
Femi is here today. Okay, that's nice. Welcome, Femi. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good evening.
Ah, you were punctual today. I'm really, really impressed. In fact, let me give you another applause.
Thank you.
So, yeah, welcome to the show. You see,
Yeah.
the last topic we had, a lot of people really liked it. We got some feedback from it, and they were like, "No, no, 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 don't move. We couldn't join because of your time framing and all that." And yeah, that's true. We've decided because of the feedbacks we got, we decided to shift our timing by an hour, pushed it back. So when it used to be GMT 8 o'clock, that's UK time, it's now 9 o'clock. So
Okay.
in Nigeria, yeah, it's now 9 o'clock, and we'll try and keep it shorter so that we can focus on the main issues this time around instead of us. We get carried away because we love you guys, and you guys always give us comments to talk about, and we get carried away and distracted, and we forgot what it is. We forget what it is we're actually here for. So, but today I'll try. I'll try and be serious, even though I'm not always serious, but I'll try and be serious. So
Yeah,
we're going
that's
to.
for
That was
fun. That's room for
yeah,
fun.
yeah. There's room for fun. Yeah, actually, I want to ask you, Femi, how did your day go before we start?
Well, busy. I'm a man of many things. I always carry out my Bubolo in everything I do. As I told you, my personal business, I work for King's Cross, I do a lot of things. So I move things together. Then it's draining, but busy, but manageable.
You work for King's Cross, like the station in England?
The company I work for is an outsourcing company to LNER. You know those train that goes to northeast England. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
yeah, so we supply all the logistics. What makes the train to run from King's Cross to York, Leeds, Doncaster,
Yeah, I
Hull?
used to be on
Yeah.
take all those trains when I was a kid all the time. My mom is from Yorkshire.
Okay, so we supply all the logistics that make that plane run from King's Cross. You have the aspect of
Wow.
Houston, but us from King's Cross. So
The
I
last
work for
time I
them,
went
and
to
I
King's
also do
Cross,
my
I was
personal
so
business.
shocked. It has improved greatly. I mean, it's like a proper world
Transportation,
class
exactly.
station now. It used to be such a dump before when I
Yeah.
was in London. It's really changed. You guys have done an amazing job
Yeah,
on that station.
yeah.
Wow. Well, hold on. Inuka is
So
trying to use
adulting
it.
is a scam. Was it good last week? I didn't even hear what everybody had to say.
Yeah, Femi was actually here. I think he was the last person speaking before we ended the show abruptly, if I'm not mistaken. So, okay, let's start with
Yep.
Bumi today. Okay, Gotena is here. Uh, Agotena, log out and log in, enable your camera and enable your camera on your phone or whatever, then log in again. So, Agontene, can you hear me? Log out, log in, enable your phone with the camera and log in. So, Bubi, tell us what you were hoping for as a child while growing up. Well, I told a couple of stories while I was speaking last week. So, tell us the expectations you had for adulthood. Then, what happened when you became an adult, and yeah, and why you think adulthood is scam, adulting.
Honestly, you know me, I have an opinion about everything, but I kept thinking, I wonder what
Well,
people are
that's why
going to
you're.
say about this because I actually had
Well,
no opinion. I really feel like capitalism is the scam, not adulthood. But the way that you phrased it, I can attempt to answer it. Um,
okay.
as a kid, I think the biggest expectation that was dashed from me was I expected that I would always be around family, that my life would look like the life I had growing up in Nigeria with my extended family. I'm divorced. I hoped I would be married, but the divorce part did not shock me. People were getting divorced in Nigeria. Even just being abroad and then coming back, having to leave Nigeria, that's not a big deal. But to be raising my children away from my own family, like I literally raised my children without and not even friends, but I had a few friends, but no family around me at all. Which is because I ended up in America, made it worse for me. Like if I'd stayed in London, it would probably have been a little bit better. So that's the first thing that surprised me and really depressed me at the same time. And it's still affecting me till today. I'm divorced, but I'm far away from everyone because I'm on the east coast of America. There's just not a lot of Nigerians here. Um, I'd say that's probably the biggest thing. Economic migration. I think it's awful. I think it splits up families, communities, isolates us, makes us lonely. I hate it so much. It's the worst thing for me about being an adult. The need for economic
So
migration.
wait, you skipped a part. We really like last week. We, even if it sounds silly, we really want to know what you were expecting. Like when you were that cute child, like when I grow up, everybody had expectations. Really,
Yeah,
it might sound silly now, but we still want to know.
I I I kind of, to be honest, I kind of checked a lot of the boxes for my expectations. I wanted to be married. I wanted to be a working mother. I wanted to be a cool wife. I did all of those things, but I realized that I needed more personally. Um, I mean, I, I, the way that being married and raising kids felt was definitely not how I expected it. When my kids were younger, I went through a period where I was really unhappy. I was just overwhelmed. It was just too much work. Things like sex felt like a chore, something that should have, been a source of happiness. Now sex is a good one. Sex, you always assume sex to be fun, but for women, it's a shocker to discover that actually it's not always that straightforward for us. We really have to take the time to understand our bodies and how, certain things work. That's probably a big one for women. Women tend to, we don't tell each other the truth from generation to generation. Like when I was growing up, I had a white mom, even though I grew up in Nigeria, and she pretty much left me to my own devices. But a lot of my friends, their moms always seemed to be extra about, messing around with boys, but they will never tell you why. They'll just be angry all the time, very, very hard on girls in a way that they're not hard on boys. And growing up, you just feel like, what the fuck is wrong with these moms? They should get off our dick. And we are, we're entitled to be sexual beings too, blah, blah, blah. But now, as an adult, I actually understand why they were like that, because we live in a very patriarchal culture, and women will suffer more severe consequences from sex you shouldn't be having than boys. So they were doing the right thing. The lack of explanation made it just seem like sexist, traditional, old fashioned nonsense, you know. But so yeah, that's one. What else?
Then okay, you spoke about motherhood. Did you think you were going to get all the certain privileges as soon as you became an adult or something?
Um yes, a little bit. I think also again that one is cultural. Like when I found myself as a working mom, still having to do everything, even menial jobs, and never having help, no driver, no house girl, no respect. You're
From
just
who?
from society at large. You're just like the Western culture. It pretends to see us all as equal, but it really doesn't. It just does that when it's convenient for it to see us all as equal. So you're expected.
Are you serious? I can't
Yes,
believe I'm hearing this from you.
it's true. You're expected to take out your own trash. You're expected, like, there is a place for unskilled laborers. If you make that something that we should all do for ourselves, what's going to happen to the unskilled labor in society? Because in reality, the theory of equality is nonsense. We're not equal. We're never going to. No society is ever going to be equal.
Kumi, what are you doing? Your people will come after you. What do you think you're doing on life?
I know what I'm trying to say. Listen, I'm not saying that we should make one person more important than someone else. I'm just saying, in
Just
reality,
pulling
we are
your
just
legs.
not
Just pulling
equal.
your legs.
Okay, we're just not
I'm just
equal.
commenting.
So that was a shocker, I suppose. I think when you grow up in a culture like ours, you get to see, when you grow up multicultural, like you weren't just exposed to Western culture, we're exposed to any other culture, whether it's Indian, Chinese, or whatever. You understand that life could be a little fuller than the West presents it to be. So for me, I think that was a big part of the things that disappointed me. Maybe if I'd stayed in Nigeria, I may feel differently. I don't know.
Well, I don't think you did too badly. We all had our expectations. So different, everybody can't be the same, you know. And whatever
Absolutely.
you think
Right.
might be a failure might have been someone else's success. So we can't really use anybody as a yardstick. Everybody
Very
has
true.
people. Yeah.
So what were people saying
Really?
last week? Because I missed it.
Oh, I'll tell you my crazy one.
Can
Just
you
let me go back.
summarize the best ones that people said last week?
No, I'm the only one that always says the best things. You know, not that if there's any best thing to be there, it has to come from Ron. You know, I was dreaming as a child, like as in primary school, I had to do too many homework. Oh, like when I grow up, I want to be an adult so I can have that office and sit down in it. Then nobody will bother me about homework, and nobody will bother me about cleaning anything, and
That's a
nobody will
good
tell me
one.
when to wake up and when to sleep because by then I'll be an adult. So I'll be free as air. Then there was this primary school teacher we had, very, very attractive, young looking woman then. So because of that teacher, like all the male teachers during lunch break, they used to gather in our class and be telling very boring jokes. And they'll just be laughing, the woman will just be giggling. My only ambition then was God, how can I grow up so I can just talk to this? Not something bad, like child crush, puppy crush, I was just thinking like that, So after growing up, I just saw that even talking to these girls wasn't as easy as I thought. And life as an adult, a single person and as a family man, it's devastating. It's not even easy. I can't do whatever I feel like doing, like I thought as a kid.
Thought you would
I
be
have
able
to
to, yeah.
watch over my family. I have to protect them. I have to clothe them. I have to feed them. All these are realities of life that I wasn't thinking of when I was 8 years old. But now I'm watching kids today complaining. Hey, I wish I could turn back the hands in time, right? At hands of time and go back to that lovely fairy tale part of my life. I'll do all the homeworks. I'll enjoy myself as a kid. I'll do everything now because right now life is just not
It's
funny
sad,
at all.
yeah. It's
And
very
it doesn't matter how much you make, there's always a challenge or a life challenge that you have to jump the hurdle. You have to skip over. It's not easy, and that's why we have to, as people, encourage ourselves. This journey of life is, I would say, it's a scam per se, but it's just that we're oblivious to the impending realities waiting for us. But we are there now, so we can't run
no
away.
turning back.
We just have to, yeah, you can encourage ourselves. So is Femi there?
Okay.
Femi, Femi, is he there? Okay, let's go to Ewa. Ewa, are you there? Okay, Ewa and Joanne, please on your camera now. Hey, already.
Hey! Ayé mi tèmi bá mi.
It was a mistake. Sorry.
Hi. I'm sorry, I'm here, please. I was just trying to figure out the camera.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
Ewa. So you can turn on your camera now and give
Just
us
give
your.
me a minute.
Okay,
Uh,
okay. Let's go to Joanne before we get to you. Joanne Agotene, who came first? Okay, Joanne. Joanne, tell us what you were dreaming of as a child. Your expectations when you get to if you when you get to adulthood, and how
adulthood.
it has turned out ahead. Just don't marry. Nothing is silly. We all said silly things last week, so don't
All
be
right.
ashamed. Feel free.
All right.
Femi, I'll
Good
go
evening,
back to you.
everyone.
Good evening.
So, okay. So for me, it was I used to see my aunts and aunties in the university, and I saw that they didn't have to wear uniforms to school. And I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to get to the university where I'll, not have to wear uniform, no stockings, no cortina shoes, you know. And then I couldn't, I couldn't wait to get married too as a kid. Like, it looked like, you just kiss and, you know, just have kids, no stress. There's always somebody to gist with. That was my mindset as an adult or as a kid. And then when I went to adulthood, it didn't turn out that way at all. At all. I realized that I had to buy clothes, to not keep
Mm.
wearing the uniform. Then the relationships, man, they just didn't work out. Like, it just didn't work out. So it was a real scam for me. Oh. It's a very real scam. That's
Wait,
that's
wait,
about it for me.
wait, Joanne. Don't be defeatist. I think you're already talking to Ron, right? Huh?
Oh yeah, I am.
Yeah, so don't lose hope. We'll get there. Don't be defeatist at all. Huh? There's
I'll
time
try
for
not
you.
to.
Don't worry. There's time for everybody. You just calm down. Oh, your
I
time will
will.
come.
I will.
Okay.
I will.
Femo,
Thank you.
Femo, are you still there? Femi, Oh, okay. So let's move to Agontene. Are you ready to talk now? I think he's at work. Agontene.
I'm at work. I cannot talk to you.
Okay,
I
okay, wait.
cannot talk to you.
Femi is
For
here now.
now.
Femi.
Yeah, let me use my account.
Femi, can you hear us?
Sorry, I was
Hello,
looking for my
Femi.
headphone, but now I got it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Have you
yeah,
found
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Okay, so I,
Yeah,
I remember last week. Okay, Bumi was not here. So, Bumi, if you thought you were a rebel, Femi
yeah,
has
I can hear you.
rebelled you as a child. Femi went
Huh?
against everybody. Femi has rebelled you as
Yes,
a
I
child.
am.
I know you used to pride yourself as the greatest rebel on the platform. Wait till you hear Femi's rebellion story. He has rebelled you. He rebelled against Popsy, rebelled against Popsy, and he still succeeded. So it's one of those few success rebellion stories. So
The leader
Femi,
of the bad gang, Abby. Okay, let's hear.
no, Femi is the leader of the bad gang now. Okay, Femo, you can give her the gist now. Femi,
Hello,
yeah,
hello.
Mm-hmm.
you can, okay, we're here. You can tell us the story. What's wrong with Femi's system?
Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear
Yeah,
me?
we can hear
Hello,
you. Yes, yes, yes. We can hear you.
hello.
Yes, we can hear you, Femi.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Good evening.
Yes.
Yes, good
Yeah.
evening.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Yeah. I think the reason why my story would not subscribe to Basecamp is I went all out against the norm because plan was by 1995, 96 I would be a PhD holder. I went against that.
Mm-hmm.
My dad wanted me to take over from his civil engineer building contractor business. I went against that. My mom wanted me to study computer and be a computer engineer. I went against that. Simple reason.
Mm.
I'm not going to
Say the
say I
year
grew up
rebellion.
being a rebellion. I grew up seeing my parents. I grew up seeing my parents parted ways, and then that triggered that rebellion in me. That you know what, you want me to follow your footsteps, me to do what you want to do, but can you see you can't even hand your age one way. But as I've said last week, it took a cousin who knew exactly what I'm going through, who know the trigger of that rebellion to redirect my steps, and then allow me to use that rebellion act to shatter things in different way. And that's why if you ask me what do, I'll tell you I'm a bubolo. I do many things at the same time because then it's like, okay, that job, I'm kick out. When I do that thing, I'm kick out. I do many things and I can't. But with this environment, I was able to convert them into a meaningful outcome. Although I forgive my dad before he died, 2006, you know what, I have to forgive them and then work with them and then you know what, so I can have a peace of mind.
Wait, 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 wait. Femo, wait,
And
wait, 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 Femo. Huh?
most
Femo,
of
wait,
the time
time
you
out.
see people do rebel with no cause.
Femo, hello, Femi, can you hear me? Wait, time out first,
Yeah, yeah,
please.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got.
Yes,
Sorry, I
yes, I
just
can hear
want.
you.
I just want you to rewind back. Like you rebel, right? Like you were the one who rebelled against them. Am I right?
Yes.
You were the rebel.
Yeah.
Then you still managed to be the forgiver too. You were the one forgiving the people you rebelled against.
Ah,
Am I right?
yeah, I did.
I need to write this down.
I've
Sorry.
got to
Okay,
change to
continue.
another.
This is something new.
Yes, yes, I am.
Okay, continue.
my parents' authority, and all their plan for my life.
The network is breaking.
Let me
Hello?
change my device. I think
Okay, change
it's
it.
not
Okay.
compatible.
Ewa, are
Yeah,
you
it's from
ready
my
now?
end.
Okay, okay, okay. Ewa, are you ready now? Or do I go to
So,
Happy
sorry, you can
Fast?
go to someone else
My-
because I'm like so distracted. I apologize.
Okay, okay. Happy Fast. Hey, let me clap for Abby again. Oh yeah, touch your glasses, touch your glasses, touch your glasses. Touch your glasses. Okay, start.
All right.
Tell me.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah,
Don't say
I'm
the
sort of,
interesting one I want to hear. Don't say the edges, though. The money part. All this, how you know how you became a very successful,
yeah.
brilliant, and enterprising
Okay.
CEO. One that has not been seen in
Like I
more
said
than.
last week,
Let me
like
finish
I
my
said last
citation.
week.
Let me finish citation now.
Okay,
The
sorry.
kind of CEO that has not been seen in this time, in this modern time, blessed hands, started seeing money at very tender age, and hopes to meet Dangote eventually. So just tell us how you built this resume to where we
Just
are
tell us
now.
how you. I think the bottom line for me is not giving up. But right from when I was young, say 9, um, I've always said to my friends that I'm going to be rich. I don't know when if I'm never going to be rich, but I always say to them like I'm going to be rich.
You will hear of this.
So I say to them like I'm going to be rich, and that means that I won't take any shit from anyone. So if someone insults me, I'm like, really? You're insulting me? Do you know who I'm gonna be tomorrow? And they'll be like, who are you going to be? I said, seriously, you can't just talk to me like that. And for some reason that went into my head. And as much as people say adulthood is calm, but I always remember those things and it still follow me through because I'm like, yo, I'm a queen. I haven't got a job. But I remember a particular story. I was sharing that with my kids, and I don't like doing anything with my hands. I don't like anything whatsoever. Aside from talking, I like to talk. Um, and probably I was privileged to carry kids, but I
Wait,
seriously do not like.
wait. You mean you became a millionaire by not using your hands?
No,
By not
I'm saying that I'm not those kind of people that use that. Like all the artisans that they will do. The first time I was going to change the bulb was in the UK because we always have someone to help. So those nonsense. It's like,
that's our job now.
eh?
That's our job now.
Not
Man.
necessarily in the UK. It's not necessarily
No,
like
I
I've
mean
got.
before UK it was our job now.
But my childhood experience, because I'm trying to put everything back to what we're talking about, is just that I've always thought that I'm going to be rich.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, I'm not rich like that. So I feel bad about it, but I still have that belief that I'm so glad that I was able to think about that from when I was young. But that because that always put me into perspective. Like, I'm not a common breed. I am like, those cars that you can't see everywhere is unique. I don't fly with everyone, very peculiar. So for me, I wouldn't say adulthood is calm for me. I'll just say that is what you take of it. Whatever. So right from when I was young, what I was thinking in my head, and when I grow up, I always think about those things. It's like a pointer for me. Don't forget, you said you're going to do this. So when I'm in a place, I put myself in perspective. When I'm going to work, I try to represent myself, my entire community. I always just feel like, don't forget, you're supposed to be rich. You're not there yet. You have to keep. So for me, those childhood things wouldn't make me think that adult is a scam. However, I know that I would have thought the only adulthood is a scam for me is that I would have thought that when I got to the UK, because I've always loved to travel. In my mind, I'm like, I'm going to travel when I grow up. I'm going to travel. I'm going to travel. So I'm still disappointed that I'm not counting pounds on the floor. I'm still disappointed that there's no tree where I could just pluck the money. So those are the scam for me because the
ayé
behavior.
ń retí ẹlẹ́yàmí o. wọ́n ń retí ẹlẹ́yàmí o lójoojúmọ́. wọ́n ti kóra wọn jọ o láti.
I called you for inspiration. All this your
No,
game
no, no.
over,
But
nonsense to pay.
let's go back. Let's go
You
to
just
the
want to Damaru everything we started
let,
with.
let, let, me, let me say the inspiration part of it before. So I'm trying to
Eh, now
the
you're
inspiration
now
part of it
you're
is
talking.
regardless of maybe whatever we have thought about, not giving up was part of my unique selling factor. Not giving up. And the one thing I've shared it on a particular YouTube video that I did long time ago when I still had the time. But I used to, before I passed my driving test, before I even did because in the UK, if you want to get your license, you have to do like the theory and the practical. Sorry if I'm boring you with that. You have to do theory and the practical. And before I even started, I always hear people tell me, "Oh, you're so smart, you're gonna pass there. You're so smart, you're gonna pass there." So this is me going like the smart person that they've told me that I am, and I failed it woefully. More than 3 times for the theory, and for the practical. Now I don't know if I should say this. Let me try and cover my face. Yeah, that one I passed it at the 8th time, number 8. So that's me not giving up. So I don't know if you're watching, just don't give up. So even though you might have had plans
Sorry,
that
sorry,
you have,
sorry. Abby, on a more serious note,
so now
how, how is failing 7 times an inspirational thing?
it
Do you know
is
many
an
children
inspiration
now?
because as an African person, what we were taught is that you
Okay,
should be
okay, 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 okay. Since you don't have anything to say, no problem.
Okay, when was this exam?
I,
When
it
did
was
you fail it?
driving license, learning how to drive as an
Oh,
adult.
you know, I have no
Not
choice now. That's
what,
why I'm not giving up. That will affect your life. I thought you meant like biology or something.
no, not biology. Not
You
biology.
have no
Uh,
choice.
I know biology very well.
Okay,
Mhm.
I missed the part where you said what you failed. I just heard you talking about not giving up, which
no,
I
it's a
agreed
driver,
with
a driving
until I
like.
found out that it was driving license.
He was driving.
Uh,
He was
So
see
I
no,
that
failed it
actually,
now.
why
even
I use that?
No,
Why
but
I
you're
use that
right.
as an
Some people
example?
would give up. Some people would give up, but
No,
a
no, but
lot of
what
people fail driving
when I
tests.
failed it the second time, I went online and someone said to me, they wrote to there actually that if you failed like 2 times or 3 times, just forget about it. It's not. You just know that driving is not your portion. Just forget about it. And these are things as a child you'll be told that if you fail something, it means that you have failed. So, and as an adult, then you know that okay, even though I've said that they've said if I fail this thing, I've failed. So many people didn't pass anything when they were younger. And when they grow up, they start becoming, smarter and things like that. So that's it for me.
Oh,
wow,
okay.
that's good.
I'll accept the story, even though that's not what I was expecting from a celebrity
About what
CEO.
you were expecting last week. I said I started selling clothes at the age of 10. I went to the bank. I started going to the bank at the age of 10. The question,
That's what you have started with, not all this your boring failing driving test. Who your drive test help? Eh?
okay. So
Anyway,
I started selling at the age
no,
of
no, no. I'm just joking. We have it on record already. Don't worry. We
exactly.
have it on
So that's why I didn't
record.
want to repeat it. So that it's not like, oh, you've said it before and all of that. And I
I
started
mean,
helping other people's money as well, 3 million.
That's actually interesting, Abby. You would have encouraged someone because being able to drive is freedom. Whoever says that you have to give up after 3 times will not make heaven, honestly.
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck?
That's
I
why
think
I'm
you.
sharing it. That's why I'm sharing because you might not understand it being a guy, and you might not understand it because probably you did it once, and you passed it. I'm one of those people that always chill out at the back of a car in Nigeria. There's always a driver,
I was
there's always
already
someone
driving,
driving. So I can't be
madam,
bothered to learn how to drive. So
madam. I was already driving for 10 years before I came here.
that
I
is
see
the
you.
point. So you might not
So
understand it, but that's why that story didn't make any sense to you. Like at that, it didn't make a serious thing to you. But the people watching, they will understand it.
Yeah, and the
okay.
British driving test is very hard to pass. Very hard.
Yeah, it
I know
is.
people who
Because they
said
are
to call
speaking
other
about
people.
it.
That was the thing they used to do. You pay someone who knows how to pass it to pass it for you, because you can
Well,
be a perfectly good driver and keep failing that test over and over and over again.
Ewa, are you ready? Hello,
God,
Ewa. No, the other speaker.
it's something. Like if you're a child and
Mhm.
you've been, like growing up, they've taught you that you should never fail. I remember the first time I failed an exam, I had to cry. I'm like, no, I can never fail. And with religion and everything. So all those things, if you put it together, you know that in reality, failing a particular thing does not mean that you're a failure. So
Do you think our parents were harsh? Please, after this show, right? Let me tell you
That's
what
a
to
good
do.
one.
I
Go
think
and
it was
study. Go and
ridiculously
study.
fun.
No, well, that's a
Wait,
good topic. Where our parents harsh or our African
wait. Well,
parents harsh?
in fact, that's good. Before we go on that topic next week, right? Go and study Japanese children.
Oh Lord! Did you see that thing? When they said
Before we
he was born in
say,
'82. Like, what the fuck?
before we study that, right? Before we take that topic, go and study Japanese children so that you understand how they manage. No, you know what? Not letting the cat on the back next week. Mr. H, after I
Hmm.
called you, you are the first person I called, and you're just arriving now.
Sorry, I
You
was
don't get.
driving. I was
Okay, tell
driving.
us about your. We're on the part two of last week's topic. So tell us about what you expected as a child and what came to you and how you took it.
Oh yeah, good good day everybody, and it's good to be here again. Yeah, like when we were growing up, like I was saying last week, I was sharing last week, while we were growing up, we actually there was more of the family orientated community that we grew up in, whereby your cousins or your immediate or your maternal family members are around you, to always help you. Let me just give an example. Like then when a child is born into a family, you see that everybody's there to train the child. It's probably the child probably can go to the uncles, but we never thought that at this later stage in life we're going to be alone and that the hustle is real. Like when we grow old, when we are older now, we now realize that look, the hustle is real. It's not like the olden days whereby we are surrounded by immediate family members, that can help us do one or two things, somebody that you can run to, just like us in diaspora now. If you don't have somebody like Ron, or somebody that from back from Nigeria that went to the same university or the same college together, most people just came from different places in Nigeria, and there is nobody you can run to. But and it makes it more harder, because in this kind of situation, a lot of people don't show love, and if you know what I mean, they don't really show love. So adulthood is really a scam because some of us thought we were going to have it easy. We thought we were going to have it easy, but now that we have kids, we have wives, we can see that no, now that we are on our own, and that shoe that our parents were feeling that time, we are in it. But then, then back then, like, I'm just using my case as a case scenario. Then we had our grandma, because I remember when my sister was born, my younger sister was born, everybody was there, everybody was there, my uncles were there, my cousins were there. It's like this, you couldn't really struggle for things because you know that you could go to Oshodi where my uncle stays, and my uncle's wife can come and carry the baby, and if you need help, you can get help. One of my uncles is soldier, you can quickly go to him at Yanopaja and things like that. But we thought it was easy. That's how it's gonna be. Then and then. But when we grew up now, when we're on our own now, we just it's not easy because now you have to pay all the bills. You need to stay. You need to be in the front line. Like somebody was sharing on the radio at some few days ago. They were discussing about this same topic, and the lady was saying, look, imagine I have three boys, and I'm a single parent, and I need to wake up very early as 5 o'clock to make sure that the boys get to school at around 7, and I have to rush to my work
then later go to fetch them. And it's not an easy task. And you can imagine boys, they be running up and down, breaking things, jumping up and down. So that is the reality of life. And this person too is a foreigner, you know what I mean. And there's no immediate family to help them out, because then it was easier when they were back home. Then that you can see, you can go drop your daughter, or you can ask your immediate cousin or your uncle to help you fetch the child. It's not easy anywhere in the world. But I was growing up, I thought it was going to be easy. It's going to be the same trend. I was going to have kids. Then maybe my uncle's daughter is going to be there to take care of them. But it's not like that. It's quite very difficult. But it's only God that is helping us. And it's so. But some of us aren't prepared for this adulthood. I won't lie to you. Some of us are, when you're in your comfort zone, and things really, reality has not really hit you in life, you think, oh, this is how it's going to be. But when reality begins to hit you, then you need to learn that you need to be on your own. You need to take decision of your own. And when you get into trouble, you know who to call. And when you call people and they're not there for you, you have to stand alone. And so you begin to realize the reality of life really hits you. But just in, as I would say, just in a place where you have people that surround you, where you get things easy, where you can, you're like this a spoiled brat. You get things easy. You just think adulthood, you just go through it like that. But when you get into the shoes, you now begin to see that no, it's not as easy as that we know. Right now, where I know everybody here is feeling the pitch in the shoes. That you have to wake up early, you have to get your kids ready, you have to, just like yesterday, my daughter's having this rash on her face. It's an allergy. I got so worried because it's my first time, seeing that kind of thing, and I didn't know who to cry to. I had to just take my laptop, go and begin to research myself to see if this is what's the cause. And now today I have to rush to the pharmacy to explain to them, and they say no, it's allergies. It's a child that is 1 year old. This is that. Those. If I was in Nigeria, I wouldn't have worried about that, because I know maybe my cousin is there or somebody's there to help me out to say, okay, no, I know I'm Elewe or more to go get help. It should be well. But now I'm feeling the pain because my mom is not here, nobody's here. I need to stand, I need to go and do things myself. I need to find out what is going on with her and get the right medication and make sure that she's fine. So adulthood is not easy. When we're growing up, we thought it was going to be easy, but now that we're in the shoes, my dear, it's not easy at all. It's only God has been helping us all this while. That's my take on the matter.
Actually,
So
Mr.
basically,
H just reminded me of something. The,
okay.
the largest disappointment, I can't believe I forgot this. The largest disappointment of my life as an adult has to be the fact that I was not allowed to be with my babies, my newborn babies. Like within 6 weeks, I had to get back to work. I was lucky I could work from home for another 6 weeks. But the idea that I have to leave a newborn baby or I can't pay my rent shocked the shit out of me. When I was a little girl, imagining being a mother, I didn't even think that this would be an issue. It didn't even cross my mind. It just, hold your baby, nurse your baby. The whole thing didn't even cross my mind. And that shit left me so depressed, so miserable. I couldn't even have more kids because of that. Like, that shit really shocked the hell out of me. I'm not gonna lie. That was probably the one big surprise. I don't know what I was thinking before that, because I saw all these professional women and I like their life. I like their shoes and their bags. I wanted to be like Claire Huxtable from the Cosby Show. She was like my role model in life. But no one tells you about those kinds of things that, well, to have a career, you have to leave your baby. What kind of society makes a
So,
woman leave their baby? I was
but
fucking
but
traumatized by that
but
shit. I
Claire,
don't know why.
if you follow the show, Claire actually put her career on hold till she had her last child before she went back to
Did
continue
she?
with her
But no,
Lord.
what? I don't remember properly, but it seemed like they started it. Her children were practically adults by then. The youngest was like 5, I think. Her oldest was
Mm.
already in college. She worked full time, and her husband worked from home. Like her husband was a
Mm.
doctor whose practice was in the house. But I was too young for all those things to to make sense. You just saw the glamorous part of it. You didn't see the reality of trying to have it all in a Western society where you have no family. It was awful.
Okay. Ewa, are you ready now, or are you still busy? Ewa, Ewa, okay. Okay, oh, okay. Lara, are you with us?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Okay, I know you're just joining, so let me quickly bring you up. So today's topic is just a light one. We are carrying it over from last week. So we're actually discussing is adulthood a scam, because for some of us we had certain expectations while we were growing up as kids, only to become adults and find out that this is not what we were thinking while growing up. So we're all sharing our experiences. It doesn't matter how silly your thoughts were, well, it's just for us to have a light-hearted moment discussing it. So, can you please share some of those things you were looking forward to as an adult, but it didn't turn out the way you wanted?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. This I don't know this sort of platform existed actually. What's it called?
The- oh, it's
Bungalow
called the
studio.
Mongolese Cooning Show, a Mongolese Cooning Show with Abby and friends. Let me
No,
put
no,
up
no.
a banner.
I mean this platform. Like, is this a
Oh,
Zoom?
StreamYard. It's called StreamYard.
Oh, sorry, I'm not an IT person. Anyways, this is a good one. I mean, where
I'll
multiple
hook you
people,
up after the show.
yeah, where multiple people could come on and yeah. Well, I was so disappointed with adulthood. Like, I had so I had so much expectation, and I think for me, it's also a mixture of um, this world moving, changing from what it was when I was growing up. Like the young man was saying before I came on, there was family value, there was more dignity in the world generally in the society. There were boundaries when I was a child. These three very important, do I call them character or behavior, sadly has died.
Mm.
So I am still one of those people that are still caught up in in the world of, I can say, the 80s, the 90s, which is completely different from what we have now. That is, I mean, after thinking about it, that's just the summary of what I would call a scam as being an adult. But breaking it down to different experiences, I grew up believing that whatever people tell me, I just believe it. So I didn't have this instinct of just taking people's words lightly because I didn't grow up like that. So if you come to me and you tell me, "Oh, Molara, my name is Moye," I have no reason to doubt you or to think you were lying to me. And believe me, I learned in a very hard way. That's one. The second part of it is I grew up with a lot of family values, and when I became a mother and I started having my own family, a lot of things had changed, and it was a lot of disappointment because the world had become more and more me and my family. There was no really that extended family support and relationship like I had when I was growing up. Like, I mean, for instance, I had so many aunties that you just think that when you grow up everything is just going to continue to be sweet and rosy. Because for instance, if I wanted to say I wanted the pack of chocomilo, by the time I speak to two or three of my aunties, I'll get it. So,
Chocomilo. Where do you
yeah.
remember
That chocolate cake.
that?
You get what I mean. So, say, for instance, for whatever reason, I needed some 2 naira or 3 naira just to feel among, while I was in Aberdina and all of that. All I needed to do was to go around two uncles or two aunties, and then I have it. And I was of the impression that that's how it's going to be when I'm all grown up. So when I start calling, "Oh, Auntie Miyadini, please, can I just please have 20,000?" And she goes, "No, what have you done with your salary?" At first, I used to feel offended that why would she tell me no? because growing up, everything was always at the tip of your fingers. So that's another part of it, that's part of adulthood that I didn't find funny at all. But the most important part of it for me is the decision making as an adult. We didn't really know how much job and how much weight our parents were carrying when it comes to making vital decisions on a daily basis. These things that we just do, you have to decide, oh, what school is my child going? What sort of this I want to give my child? Even before children I started having children. It got to a stage where you have to start making decisions for yourself. So then I then start learning, okay, this is what I want to do. What should I base my decisions on? And all this sort of thinking and adult thinking. As a child, I took it for granted. Oh, let's just go and ask grandma, what should we do? Okay, we should do it like this, like this, like this. Okay. Then when we're growing, you're like, oh, I don't want to take instructions. But actually, if you have someone giving you instructions and guidelines, you're blessed, because now as an adult, having to sit down and write up or come up with guidelines for myself, come up with tangible reasons to back up my decisions that I'm making, it's really, honestly, it's a scam. They should have told us then when we were younger that, look, I think they actually do tell us, but like it really didn't sink in that this is a lot of work to be done. Yeah, so I have quite a lot of adulthood scam personally, really, but these are just the few I think I can mention at the moment. And I think up until now, really, it's still, the decision making part is still a real big scam for me, because believe me, as an adult now, there are some decisions I rather wish someone was making for me, like my parents were
Mm,
when I was a child.
mm. Oh, thanks a lot. In fact, you really put a lot of things in perspective. Um, and when you look at it, really, there are
I mean,
times
you
I
have
just,
a point. We were the kind of decisions we regularly make by ourselves were made by a lot of adults back then. Made by father, mother, grandmother will put her
I,
own,
we can't
uncle will
hear.
put his own opinion. You can't hear me?
you can you hear now?
Oh.
Oh, can you hear?
Okay, I can hear
Right.
now. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Now I was
Continue.
saying that I agree with Amalara. I mean, or not so much that I agree, but that I think the way we make decisions has changed. I feel like she's right to feel that way. I can't imagine that my dad made big decisions by himself. He had my grandfather, he had brothers, he had the community behind him in a way that I don't think we have anymore. We're all a little bit more isolated. It's just us having to do the whole thing. So I don't blame her for how she feels. I think that's really got a lot to do with how much our societies have changed.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
and
true.
to add to what you said, then you can also still trust all of these people that are contributing to your decision making. You can trust them that
Yes,
even if they're giving you the wrong advice, but it's from a good place,
good,
you know,
exactly.
that they would not intentionally lead you astray. But like
Yeah,
I said, the society has changed and degenerated so much, so badly that almost you are on your own, no,
yeah.
you know. Because even if you have so-called support from people you can go to, you're not even sure that it's coming from the right place, you
Yeah,
know?
how in these days of keeping up with the Joneses, how do you trust your friend and your neighbor? The whole existence is about I better pass my neighbor. How do you trust that they're going to give you good
Exactly,
advice? Because you don't want
exactly,
the same things. You're diametrically opposed. Their happiness depends on them doing better than you. It's not the
exactly.
same when it's coming from your family. You're absolutely right, Amolara. I agree with you.
Okay. Ewa, are you ready now? I see that your mic is open.
Yeah. So the problem is, I apologize. My first time here, I actually missed a whole bunch of the
Okay, let me
conversation
catch you
because
up. Let me explain it. when we were all children, we all had expectations for adulthood. Like there were certain things you were saying that, oh, when I grow up, I can't wait to become an adult so that I can do this, or so I can stop doing this or that. We all had our childish ways of thinking. So we're just expressing what we realize now that as an adult, this is not how I thought it was going to be, but it is what it is. So, like we keep saying, that nothing you are saying is silly, right? We all had these expectations. So share yours. Don't feel that anything is silly or funny, because you'll be surprised that one or two of us might have thought in that line. So
You
tell
know,
us
when
yours.
I saw the topic, the first thing that came to my mind was the song that everybody's doing. Adults, skinny corners, come, something, something. That song, I don't know if anybody else says. You have to take care of yourself. Nobody will ask if you've eaten. Um, and I think that adults is actually, it's not a scam. I think I actually enjoy being an adult. I think the downside is now you're responsible for the choices that you make. So I think a lot of people are just like in denial. It's easier to not, and I don't know if I'm taking it too serious, please. I don't know if we're
No, express yourself.
okay.
You're lucky
So I
Bolu
just
is
feel like a lot of people don't want to um, kind of agree with the more English is that though. They don't want to come to terms with the decisions they made. You understand? So I don't think adulthood is scam. I think it's a beautiful thing. It's an opportunity to experience life in a different way. So it's been a ride for me. I've enjoyed it. The
How
good,
long
the
have you
bad.
been an adult?
Sorry,
How old are you? How long have you been an adult?
I'm not really sure when adulthood starts. That's a good question. But I'm
Let's say
35 years old.
19. 35. Wow, okay.
So I'll be
So I
36
can take you
October 1st.
seriously. Your voice sounds so
well,
soft. I'm
she
not even
has
going to say
baby voice, so
26.
don't let
I was
her.
going to be like, you see, how can you know? How can you not
You
say
know what? That's
anything?
Wait,
actually a
you know
good
what?
question. When does
Never show
adulthood?
your face, so they think you're a baby.
Oh,
You do
okay. Let me
have a
try this
babyish
one.
voice. Like, if you
And
say
she
baby,
actually
you
has
say
a baby
yes.
face, so it
We
is
don't
even
see you
making face
filter for
worse.
this plate. My face does look wrong.
See, we're not doing beauty contest.
You should see how some of us show up on this thing sometimes. We're going to have to work
Have
on
you
that.
ever seen Believe
Right?
when she wakes up and is drinking coffee without
You know, now
anything?
I'm coming from Instagram. That is fake life people. There's no filter inside this thing. But let
It's
me
okay.
take
It's
a
okay.
step
You've
of faith.
answered the question. You said 35, so
See, she's
your
not a
your
baby.
answer is
Can you
legitimate.
see?
Yes. I thought maybe she'd only been adulting for 2 years. That's why she's saying it's not a scam.
No, no, I
I was
love
gonna say wait first.
She's
no,
a
You've been
mom
I
too.
love
adulting
being
10
an
years.
adult. I think that for me, um, I when I first listened to that song, and I don't know if you guys know it, adulthood, you know, nobody go ask if you don't shop. Nobody go send you free money, you know? And that was like, wow, that is true. But so I first related to it, then I took a step back and I actually think that no, adulthood is actually beautiful, because me, I like to always like evolve and learn more things. And I feel like adulthood have provided that opportunity. You can travel, you can make choices. There are many things I wanted to do, and my dad would be like, you have to do this, you have to do that, and that's just it. Then I have to do that. So I feel like I'm happy
Okay.
as an adult.
Yeah, I think I know why, and I understand her. I think those of us who have an independent spirit don't uh, don't balk at adulthood that much. Whether our life is good or bad, we just want it to be our own. Because I don't really feel like adulthood is a scam either. I feel like capitalism is a scam. But I enjoy the freedom to make my own choices, no matter how hard it is. I think people like us probably can tolerate it a little bit more than people who are more happy to collaborate with others and don't have to be as ultra independent as some of us need to be. Like some of us just don't want to be told what to do at all, so we tend to
There are
enjoy
times I wish I
adulthood
had
more.
someone to tell me what to do, you know and because I'm just like, and that goes into other faces that maybe at some other time. But there's some people, I'm like one of those people that actually don't mind if somebody leads me. If they say, okay, just do this and just do that, I'm okay with it. I just feel like maybe if I'd had a different, like I'm a typical daddy's girl and different stuff, but I think I'll probably raise my kids a little bit different. I don't think I was as expressive as I would have loved to be. So I had to do so many things. It wasn't like it was forced on you, but it was, you were not given the opportunity, or what's the English? Like the environment to express yourself. So for me, the freedom and the technical adulthood, I got into it later. Even though age wise on paper it said so age, I still constantly wanted the approval of my family, my loved ones, my teachers, my so I actually, it was
How long have
much
you been
more later.
responsible for yourself? And are you married or do you have children?
Well, I don't have biological children. I do have got kids I'm really close to. I do not believe in marriage. My definition of marriage is different. I don't believe you can own people.
Do you, not
So,
to pry, but are you financially secure? Like, did you inherit money? Does your
so
parents help
there's
you, or
another
are
thing
you
that's very
responsible for your
relative. I'm not as
own
financially
bills?
secured as I would like to be, but yes, I do pay my home bills. But I'm also working towards, I don't want to just live my life working and paying bills. I'm also working towards financial freedom to be able to actually experience life in its real sense.
Wow,
Okay, can I can
pretty
I
cool.
can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
I think where Emma is coming. Oh no, I'm calling you my daughter's name. This girl will not get off
How
my
this
head.
art look like this?
I think where Ewa is coming from, there are three things from I could pick from what you've said. You had come from almost a typical loving Yoruba background, especially for the girl child, whereby your father is a huge part of your life. And
Mhm.
because our culture doesn't really give you, in our days, not now, my daughter practically just tells you, Mommy, I don't want to do it. And then she'll give you reasons why she doesn't want to do it, you know? So in our days, I mean, your dad would just go, oh no, like for instance, for me, my dad, I lost my dad at an early age. So my my grandpa was who I knew as dad. And my grandpa was just telling me, no, you're going to study medicine. And I kept failing chemistry and maths. Sorry, I kept getting just pass, and I kept saying, I don't want to be a doctor. I just want to be a successful businesswoman. Like my auntie Yakudi, because then Yakudi used to go to Senegal, to Gambia, to UK, to Holland to bring Hollandis. That's what I wanted. I just want my companies everywhere in the world. But I didn't have a say. But this is coming from it's based on their own understanding. It's not like they were doing it to harm us.
Mm,
It's their own way of showing us love and direction in life. So I
mhm.
feel Ewa has gone through that, and now having the opportunity to just make decisions on her own for her is a good thing, because all she's done mostly as a child is to just listen to what uh
And I think for my dad, for instance, is I think that for my parents, I, one of the things that I think is missing is communication. I think most parents want you to be doctors, lawyers, accountants, all these things. Is just because those were the safe. Um,
yeah, at their
they
time.
just want you to be okay, and it was just safe, and they
Yeah,
want you to be
yeah,
better.
yeah.
I feel like the kind of father that I had,
Hello,
Hello.
hello.
sorry, hello, I had a call coming. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like the kind of father that I had, like even my mom, I feel like they would have, if I had expressed myself properly,
They
they
would
would
have
have made
listened.
accommodations for whatever. But I just feel like it was just a different time where you don't feel expressive. Like right now, right now in Nigeria, the amount of people that are gay is unbelievable. The amount of people that secretly are not feminists is unbelievable. The amount of people that question the religion they are is unbelievable. The amount of people that really hate their job is there's so many people. There's so many childhood trauma. There's so many things, and people just don't have the right. Please, correct English me, Ejo. I'm practicing the right environment. The environment is not conducive. That's what I
Yeah,
want
it's
to
not
say.
conducive for you to express
For
yourself
you to express
at any
yourself,
extent. Yeah.
like me, the first doctor, but even you can't even tell them that I want to be selling tomatoes. You
Yeah,
understand?
that's because we have a culture in code now, culture in code that used to make us believe that adults always knows better.
That's deep, actually.
But they're right though, and that is
No,
the
no, no, no,
beauty
not
of
all
that culture.
adults. Not no. I used to think they were right, and I'm going to give you a lot of examples. Not all adults, and this will take me to the second point I wanted to make about what Ewa said, which also maybe we should not just have said adulthood. So when we use the word adulthood, we have different stages of adulthood, and that is why you could see someone like Ewa come and say she is enjoying adulthood because so far from what she told us about herself, she's managed to keep her life and her affairs in control. Let me use finances, for instance. If Ewa, for instance, I'm just sorry I have to use you for as an example. She says she's 36, and if she had lived in Nigeria and
Don't add more to my age, Joe. 35. We'll be 36
sorry,
in October. Uncle, few more months. Kilo them.
okay, sorry. So if she were to be in Nigeria and she's then married because there is that pressure of, oh, you have to marry, and she's married at the age of 27, 28, and now she has two, three children, and her husband works with a bank, and she's also working in a bank or hustling, and they barely make ends meet. She'll come on social media too and dance adulthood na scam. Nobody go ask you if you don't eat. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So there are different stages and different levels of adulthood. She can come on now and say that she's enjoying adulthood because she can make decisions for herself, she can do things for herself because she's managed to put her affairs and life in under control. She's in charge of what she does. She's not because okay, let me put, though I feel the word adulthood is large. That is one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is what you find yourself, where you find yourself in life. Like Yorubas, we say ori lo nishe, so we all find ourselves in conditions and positions in life whereby you don't sign up for it, but it is just what your life is. And this is what I'm trying to say, which is what made me responded to Bumi earlier, that not all adults knows better. I happen to have um I wouldn't say large, but a certain high scope of staffers, that expects me to take the final decisions and all of that. And I discover really after so many years that it is not all adults that has the most commonest sense. And this was what I was trying to refer to earlier when I came up to speak. That you just expect that some level of, oh, this person is an adult, they will not do this. No, I've grown to learn and to see that it is not all adults actually that are right
Okay,
or that they're doing.
Amalara, can I respond to that? When I
Yes.
said that culture is good, I don't mean pound for pound, one adult to one child, the adult will always be right. I mean the culture that says that let the adults dictate how your life will go. Adults in plural. Because if it's
Okay.
just one, they're too susceptible to get it wrong. They're too susceptible
Yeah.
to just impose their own feelings and ideas and values. But if it's a gang of them, it's almost always better than just you as a little child making a decision. There you get.
True. True. I get you.
It's unlikely, for example, for like five adults in the family to insist that you have to be a doctor when you don't want to. One of them will pick up on it and say, "Don't force this child to do
Oh,
this."
definitely,
If
definitely.
it's just one, just like your
I
father
think
who's
I
a
didn't
doctor
finish.
wanted to be a doctor, he can make that kind of
Yeah,
mistake.
yeah.
But
I
a
think
bunch
I
of
didn't finish
them,
my line of thought then, because for in my case, then my uncle came up and said to my grandpa that leave this girl to be even leave her to be a national businesswoman if that is what she wants to do. And then my grandpa said no, no, no. And then we finally ended up with the help of my uncle, just to buttress what you're saying. I then became a journalist. So I completely agree
No,
with
but
you
you're
on that.
absolutely right, though. Your point is really important because we value adulthood so much in our culture that we assume that every adult knows what they're talking about, and it's
Omo,
absolutely
that
not
thing
true.
messed me
You're
up
so right about that.
so many times that I had so much expectations from the so-called agbalagba. Let me even speak Yoruba.
And they
Agbalagba,
have no
eka
sense.
sosa, eka rosa. And then we're like, he did that. The disappointment alone could give you a heart attack because we're brought up to have this level of respect
For them,
and
yeah.
expectations from you the moment you're an elderly person and you're well read, you're well traveled. But right now, Omo, I base it on what you bring to the table, as they say. Oh, if you like, be 100 years old when I have conversations
Yeah.
with you. And
Hello guys. Hello guys. Please, I want to just ask, chip in something. Is it Ewa? If I'm right with that name. Are
Yes.
you? Are you? Because I think I overheard something you said just now. Are you saying to you adulthood means more freedom to do what you couldn't do when you were younger?
I don't think it's to do what you couldn't do when you were not younger. I think it just means you have more control of your life, the decisions and the directions you want to go. And I'm really glad you asked me that question because the next thing I wanted to say was to actually say adults don't actually always know it. To be honest, it's not politically correct. And I might not have said it in a room larger than this. Me, I'm always honest. I don't like dragging. But the truth is, most adults actually don't know anything. Honestly, they don't
But
know
I
things.
think I think the caliber of adults is changing almost everywhere. I
Well,
I
we
I
have to
know this for a
speak.
fact.
No, no.
Today's adults
Let
are
me
much
just
more
let me. I
stupid
think the
than
caliber of adults
yesterday's,
is
and the
changing
ones
because,
before were smarter than the one from yesterday too.
well, because we
It's
are having more of these conversations. That's
But
why it's changing.
yeah,
So I
but
think a lot of adults don't know anything, and I'll say why I said that. Not because they're not well read, not because they're not smart, because they actually don't talk to their children. How many people here, when they had their first boyfriend or girlfriend, went to their mother and said, "I have a crush on so person. I'm thinking of dating him." So a lot of adults don't know. I mean, if she does not like chemistry, she likes to sell things, and she like. If you really, really know her, you will see those signs. So now I think that the next generation is probably better because we actually having this conversation, and it's only 1 month that I saw that when I said things like you said, you know what, you are right that I actually made a lot of mistakes with my children. Most people don't accept that financial provision. It doesn't take the place of emotional provision. People can
I'm
Okay.
discuss.
sorry guys, but I have to actually go.
Okay, I was just about to round up because the time we've even exceeded the time. I was enjoying what
My
Ewa
five
was saying.
minutes, yeah.
But
But
I,
we
I
did good.
apologize.
Ewa,
Next time I'll be here on time.
wait,
I was
It
here on
was
time.
great.
Ewa, Ever we're pushing the next week, we're going to, even though we have a new topic, we're going to run, just have this train of thought because we're
Okay,
trying to
yeah,
perfect our algorithm on YouTube because there's a certain time frame we shouldn't go. But all in all, honestly, you can't imagine how pleased we are to have a lot of you on today
thank
to
you.
express yourself. It's one of the few things we're always here to discuss, share ideas, and nobody has superior knowledge. I say, yeah, on this platform, we are learning. A lot of the things I know today, I learned from these wonderful sisters and brothers here because they share knowledge here every time. So we all pick from each other, gather, and make something good out of it. So if you're here and you're watching, please click the subscribe button and like. So it helps our algorithm so that by the time we get to a certain place, we won't be doing it all the time. It's everything will just work automatically. And in conclusion, yes, I also agree with what a lot of you have said. Not all, I think you know what? I'll put it in another because you guys brought a very valid point about the type of quality of adulthood we have now as against what we had before. It's a real thing. We'll have that discussion in the next. No, what was the next? What's his name? Mr. H. I hope you took notes for the next topic. Okay.
yeah,
So, instead that out again, once again, I would like to thank you all. our main anchor, Abby,
Buzzing on
cannot
my
make it
hand.
because oh, sorry. Our main anchor. Wait, let me mute. Hold on. I know what's going on. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Okay. I think it's good now. So our main anchor couldn't make it today because she's really in transit. She's traveling to London. So you meet her next episode. So once again, I thank you for all of you who made out time to come and hang out with us today. Thank you for the new entrants, Ewa, Femi, Omo Sexy, Omolara, Angontene, as usual. Happy Fast, the one and only. Hamza, Mr. H, Joanne, and Bumi, our our firecracker. So until this time again, all of you just stay. We're just going offline. Don't worry. Don't log out. Just wait. So until next time, please like, subscribe, and we'll see us here again next week Tuesday. Goodbye, everybody.